Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Well, I've got a new, as you can see here, a new Bluetti product. It's the AC180. I'm always really excited when I get new products from Bluetti because they make such great products. I've never seen one I did not like. Now, I've seen some that are too small, I think, or too big for most nomads, those of us who are living on our wheels. But they're all fantastic products. And now let me make it very clear that while Bluetti sends me these things, they've never paid me a penny. When I say it's a great product, it's a great product. And when I say it's a great product but it has these flaws, it's a great product but it has these flaws. Everything has flaws. And I have no incentive to lie to you about this one. So let's talk about the 180. Let's get it unboxed. The cords and cables that you've got. This is the 110 cord. You can plug it into your wall. This is your MC4 cables. You can see it's just got standard MC4s. The Bluetti manual AC180, the warranty card. So here it is, the new AC180. Now I have here with its cables, it also came with a cable to plug it into the 12-volt charger. So when you're driving, you can charge it. And now you can see I'm comparing it to the EB70S. Right now, the model above this, so this is the model below it. The model above this is the AC200P or the AC200 Max. Big jump in price. Let me say I don't know the price of this as I'm shooting this video, but when it comes out, when this video comes out, I'll have it and it'll be in the description below, so you'll know the price. So you can see it's not a lot bigger than the EB70S. But I don't have an AC200, either the P or the Max, to have here. But it's much, much larger. So they're a very, very different unit. So this falls neatly and meets a gap between the EB70 and the AC200. EB70 it's a fantastic unit, and if you don't have a large need for power, it's the best choice on the market right now. There's no doubt in my mind about that. It's got all the features you could want. It's super feature rich. The amazing thing about Bluetti is they are really listen to the influencers who talk about them. And if we say, oh, this is a flaw, they fix it. This is a fantastic unit. It's just a little bit too small. For a lot of you, you're going to want to run a fridge, a 12-volt compressor fridge. They're going to run about 50 watts, and under ideal conditions, the EB70 will run it, but you don't always have ideal conditions. So if you don't want a fridge and you have fairly minimal needs, this is fantastic. Summer or winter, this will run a fridge, a 12-volt compressor fridge. So there was a need that they hadn't met between the EB70 and the AC200. There was nothing in between. It still doesn't have a superabundance of power. The 200 has a superabundance of power. That's why, you know, if you could afford it, the AC200 Max is really your very best choice. But it's more money, it's bigger, it's heavier, it's bulky, and so it's just more than a lot of us can need, can fit in our space, or can afford. Whereas this is a little too small. This is just right. This is Goldilocks here. Goldilocks said the three bears. She came in, they said AC200P Max, too big, I can't afford it. Too heavy, too big, it won't work for me. EB70, I can't run my fridge. I really want a fridge. Oh, if only there was something just right. And here it is, the AC180. I think this really fills a gap in between the two. Depending on the price, it could be really amazing. For a lot of us, the size is very important. If you live in a car, SUV, if you're an overlander, if you're in a car in a tent, or even if you're in a minivan, the bigger this thing gets, the more room it eats up. The AC200 is much larger, and it's 60 pounds, almost 61 pounds. So a lot of you literally cannot pick up 61 pounds and carry it around. This is 34. And the majority of us can pick this up. Okay, let's real quickly go over the features, and I will compare them to the EB70 and the imaginary, because I don't have one here, AC200. All right, so let's go over the really important specs first. For a lot of you, it's weight and size. That's the most important thing. But next, let's talk about its solar abilities. Can it run all the products you want to run? So at the low end, a great unit is the EB70S. It has a 800 watt inverter, pure sine, they're all pure sine, and a 716 watt hour battery. That's just shy of being able to run a fridge year round. Now let's look at the AC180. That's a big step up in most ways. It has an 1800 watt inverter as opposed to 800. You're going to be fairly limited. You can't run large 110 items off of this. So this has found the sweet spot of having big enough inverter, big enough battery to run your big items, and still at the same time be able to run and maintain your fridge. This can run your fridge, a 12-volt compressor fridge, no problem, summer or winter. So the battery size is 1152 watt hours. That's 96 amp hours at 12 volt. And that's what I recommend. I tell everyone the minimum power you want to have is 200 watts of solar, and more the better. 300 is much better. 400 is even much better than that. But you want to have at minimum of 200 watts of solar and a 100 amp hour battery. That's what you need to run a fridge. That's what people want to do, run fridge and the other things at the same time. That's what you got to have. This does that. It has the big enough battery, and it will take 500 watts of solar. That's plenty. If you can bring in 500 watts of solar, even on a mediocre solar day like in the winter, a poor solar day in the winter, 500 watts coming in and a 96 amp hour battery is enough. That's sufficient. So the AC200 will take 700 watts of solar, which is even better. That's a really good amount, and that's going to do even better, but you pay a lot in size and cost. So again, the AC200P is the best of all, but this is the sweet spot of size and price and weight and capacities and abilities to do everything most of us want. The AC200 does have a 30 amp service, and if you're an RV, that can be a very nice, significant thing. You're getting the capacities you need and nothing extra. And in that kind of a description of the nomad life, you get what you need and nothing extra. Now, one of the things I really like about this, and that my first thought was, well, that's just no big deal, is this is the power cord, the only thing you need to plug this into the wall. There's no brick. You see, I never pulled a brick out. It's not missing it. It doesn't use it. The brick has been moved inside. And I really like that. Why? Because I lose things. This is a universal cord. You can go down to Walmart or any store and buy one of these. So as you can see, I'm in a whole new location. When I got the AC180, I was camping somewhere and I did the unboxing there. You've seen the unboxing already. I've been using the AC180 ever since, and I've been just really happy with it. And initially, they had told me that there would not be a separate battery that went with it. And I thought that was strange because the AC line, all of them have separate batteries, and so I didn't understand why it wouldn't either. In fact, they just put out the AC60, which is the much littler brother to this one. It has its own battery that you can plug in. It's the B80. Well, it turns out that they had just not given me all the information I needed, that the B80 battery will plug into this. So this is 1,152 watt hours, and you can add another 800. So it's going to be just shy of 2,000 with this and the B80. So let me get the B80 out of its box and show it to you, and that there'll be a combination then. It also looks to me like the B80 will work with backwards. So if you have an EB3A or an EB70, this battery should work with them. You're going to have to buy a separate cable from Bluetti, and hopefully, I don't know if that's available yet or not. These are all new. These haven't even come out yet. So here's the new B80. This is the combination. It's the AC 180. It comes with 1152 watt hours of its own. And then you can add on the 800 watt B80 and then plug it in, and it will then be just shy of 2,000. That's a really good size. So you can start out by buying the 180 and then adding on, maybe you can't afford them both right now, you don't have space for them both right now, and then you can add it on later. One of the great things about the B800 is it can take its own 200 watts of solar. You can charge it directly off of a solar panel. So it will take 200 watts of solar, and this will take 500 watts of solar, and that means that with the two combined, that they will take now 700 watts of solar. That's a lot of solar in a 2,000 watt hour battery, so that's going to work super well. As of right now, I don't have the cable that connects these two, so I'm not going to be able to test these. As soon as I get that cable, I will go ahead and test them and give you more information. So here are my final conclusions on the AC180. I really, really, really like it. I think it's a good size, a really good size. It's not as big as the 200, but it's very competent. You can't pick it up. You know, a lot of us are older, and the weight and the size is a really big deal. And so it has all the features you need, no extra ones. I don't know the pricing yet. I'm shooting this before it's even officially out, so that the day it goes out is announced, it will go out, and they can't give me the price yet. So look at the description below, and that will tell you the price. But you're just going to have to compare it. That's the big question. Is the price good compared to the rest of the lineup? What makes this really a good unit, to my mind, is the fact that you can add on the battery. And when I say that, keep this in mind. This is backwards compatible with almost their entire line. So you can run this with backwards to the EB70, the EB55. But this has 1,152 watt hours. And then if you add one of these at 800, you're up at almost 2,000 watt hours. And that is plenty. The 1,800 watt inverter will run my microwave no problem. It takes 500 watts of solar. That's very, very good, because the bigger the battery, the more solar you want coming in. 500 watts, 2.5 times more in 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of sun. That's going to get the job done. I'll just tell you, I love everything about this unit: the size, the weight, the 500 watts of solar, the big inverter, the big battery, the add-on capacity. It's got everything you could want. Now on the app works great. The app is set up with 3 modes. One is turbo, and man, it charges fast. It'll charge almost 1,500 watts if you plug it into a wall outlet. You have a generator running, you can charge this at almost 1,500 watts. It's incredible. It's really excellent, fast charging. And man, you can have that thing all charged up in an hour or two. The two of them all charged up in an hour or two. The step below that, it charges at about 1,100 or 1,200 watts, which is still very fast, but not as fast. And then it has a silent mode. And because it has a loud fan, I always put it in the silent mode. Well, I don't want to turn off my fridge. My fridge is going to run overnight, so this has to run overnight, and I found the fan noisy. That's my only knock. Maybe it won't bother you. Maybe they'll hear this. Of course, it has LiFePO 4 battery, so it has 2,500 cycles. That's fantastic. That's all you need. Don't buy a lithium ion, only buy LiFePO 4. You get all those more cycles, usually either 4 times or 2.5 times, depending on the other unit you're buying. So in every way, this is highly recommended. And then if you can afford it, you buy this and you add on the battery, and you've got 2,000 watt hours, and you're just cruising. Great setup. Love the size. So if you got anything out of this video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.